Alrighty, welcome back. I'm your man Bad Chad and Queen Jolene's on the camera. And we are on air, and we are not out of the woods on this car yet, by no means. We have got the roof moved ahead. We've got it welded on. We've got it ground down. We got the braces on the inside. For the new people that have not been here yet, we have just moved the roof ahead 12.5 inches on this Thunderbird, making it look like the first gens, the two-seater. That's what we're doing. We're doing good, but what we're not out of the woods on yet is the back window. We have to get that. I want to put the back window in it. We have it. We have a new rubber. We may as well use the back window. But as you know, as we cut the roof off, we did not bring in the back pinch weld for the hold the window in the car. So that's what I'm going to do today. Is I'm going to make the pinch weld to hold the back window. There's a couple different ways that I could do it. Basically, just like playing checkers again, this little game of checkers up there, magnetized checker game we got there. What I thought about is I looked at it, I probably could cut this piece out and bring it up here and weld it in there. When I thought about cutting it out, as I got feeling it, there's a lot of metal in there that's come together. This is pinch weld on the top, pinch weld here. Then we had our spring mounts underneath that. It probably would be a little bit harder to get off than I think it would be, and also it would cause work here. After I cut it out of there and put it up here, then it would cause me to go back here and fix that and put some, put some metal back in it. Another way I was thinking about doing it, I could make a 90 on the brake out of 18 gauge, and I could use the shrinker and shrink it and make this shape and keep coming back and see if I can get this shape here. Where it's 18 gauge, I do not feel like the pinch weld would be thick enough. I want it nice and rigid like this one is. So I could do that, and then I'd have to make metal go to that, and I just think it would complicate it a little bit. It would make it a little harder. It might make it easier, I'm not sure. So this is what I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking about taking a piece of 3/4 inch square stock, bending it to the shape right here. There's a little platform right here, a little flat pat because it leans ahead like this. Bending my 3/4 inch square stock to that shape here, laid in there so I know it's the right shape. Then I was going to cut a piece of 14 gauge and apply the 14 gauge to the square stock. Then I'm going to take, once I get that made, then I can come up here and apply the pinch weld, the 14 gauge pinch weld, I'm going to make it a pinch weld, or I guess it's not going to be a pinch weld, it's going to be a piece of 14 gauge welded to a piece of square stock, but then I can apply it from here over to there and put it in the right place. Because I have this piece right here to go by and that piece right there to go by. That'll tell me the angle when I weld that on there. Also, the square stock will be turned up, will give me this angle going across, and that should make that rigid enough to hold that back window with a square stock and a 14 gauge. Then I can come in here and make a pattern from the package tray to the pinch weld that we have just made. We can cover that in. And then I'm thinking that we can put our back window in. Then we have to carry on from there and cover this in, this old package tray that we've moved the roof ahead, cover that in with sheet metal to match up with the trunk lid and match up with the back window. That has the piece that is shaped like the trunk lid. This piece here was behind the window before, and it's behind the window. That's where the window went in here, so we need that shape up and behind the window. I'm thinking because the rubber acquires that shape too, because I think the rubber sits on top of that maybe. I'm not sure, or in front of it, one or the other. We're going to have to sort of figure that out before we probably make that piece. But let's make that pinch weld and get a place where the back window can apply itself. Also, I just want to show you, the roof has stayed nice. When I put the cross members in the roof, when I tapped on it, I had a rattle. So what I did is I stuck some Bristol board up in there, and I'm going to have to cut some pieces and stick something up in there to take the rattle out. That's why they had that insulation piece that I tore the first time. That's why they had that in there. I ripped it off because I did not want to burn it when I was welding the roof up right along that edge. It would have burned and acted funny. But now what I can do is I can just push up on the roof, and maybe we can apply that piece back in there so it does not rattle. I'm very happy. I've got the roof all welded along here, all the way across, all on the other side. Now we're moving on to the pinch weld. So this is probably not going to be an easy piece to make, but we need to make it. So watch out, sweetheart. My Queen Jolene's looking like 11 this morning. Looking like 11. What I'm thinking is this square stock, this 3/4 inch square stock is about that distance on that flat piece there. I'm going to make a piece of this fit in there, fit that shape, and then I know the shape of the back window. So I'm going to cut a piece. Got a marker right here. Got to get in order here a little bit. Got to get in order. We'll cut it just a little bit long. That way there we have enough. Thanks for coming back, everybody. Thanks for coming back. We appreciate it. All right, where did I mark that? Did I lose it? Oh, right there. So it's not over yet, that's for sure. There's still lots of fabrication that has to be done. Also, I was looking at what is it? The Thunderbird Club. They did a rendering on it. Mm-hmm. The Thunderbird Club did a rendering on this car. It's funny that we're doing this car right at the present moment, making a 58 into a 2-seater, because this was a 4-seater car. And their rendering took the back wheel opening and moved it up like the first gen cars, right close to the back door, which shortened the ass end of the car quite a bit. The roof, I think, stayed the same. I'm not sure if they trimmed any off here or not. We did not obviously trim any off there, and we did not move the quarter panel, move that up at all. But this is what I'm going to say. I feel, just my opinion, my belly button, that it looks better with the length there than it moved up. That's just my opinion. And I enjoy the roof where it's at. The measurement is shorter in the back, from the back of the roof, from the front of the windshield to the front. It's shorter in the back than it is in the front. So I feel like it's right on the money. I feel if you moved the quarter panel up here like that, it does not appeal as much as this appeals to me right at the present moment. I'm liking the length in the back. I'm liking the length of the wing or the fin on it. And I feel like we're doing the right thing. I'm going to bend this square stock. Okay, I feel like we're good in the center. When you bend that on the ground like that, generally what happens is the center bends first, and down at the edges, it does not bend that well. We're going to get our piece of wood going, and we're going to bang on it. But when you bang it on the ground, you do get a nice round curve, but you generally get most of your curve in the center. What's going on here now is I'm going to start getting some curve. I need some curve out on the ends, and it's hard to get that curve when you're banging it on the... I'm going to leave that right there for a second. When you're banging it on the ground, generally you get that bang in the... Fits good to there. Wow. We'll just start banging it there. And the reason I'm marking it there, because we're right on the pinch weld, and we're right on the pinch weld where I banged it there. Now we just need this little bit bent. That's what I'm thinking. We're going to use a piece of wood to do that. Anybody can get a piece of wood and bend a piece of metal. That's just something easy to do. Get yourself a piece of hardwood, softwood, hardwood I would probably suggest. Get a piece of hardwood and sculpt the middle out of it with a flapper wheel or a grinder. And you can do the exact same thing I'm going to do right here at the present moment. So that's scoped out, and I'm going to place that on there. I'm going to hit with a big hammer. See if I can't get this done within our time. So I want this bent from that mark out, and it's hard to bend that when you're banging on the ground. You get the bend in the center. And if it's bent too far, we can always bend it back. We have the tools. And that's a hammer and a piece of wood. Alrighty. We're right on that line. And you can see, if you want to come take a look, sweetheart, on this side. You can see we're on the line there. We're on the line. Now we're not on the line. Exact same thing down there. Just got to get her coming a little bit further. Checking where my line is. A little bit too much of a bend down there. I'm going to bend it in the center. I'm going to hit it. This piece of square stock is a little too long. Cut a little bit off each end. The only reason I did that because my bend's in the center. Okay, we're too much right now. This isn't fitting bad over here. Not too bad. It's got too much in the center and too much right there at that. We're nice here, not bad. We got too much bend right. Too much bend right here. I'll just straighten that out a little bit. So we just lay it the other way. We're bent too much to there. We're bent too much. Just going to go the other way. I want to hit some right here. I want to bend it. Right here my thumb is. Not bad. I want to bend it right here some. And bend it down there some. I want to bend it down here some. Just trying to look and see where it's not fitting. Fitting the best. It's going to take a minute or two. All good things do. Sometimes it doesn't take a whole bunch of pounding, just a little bit. It's not bad there. It's going to come out there just a little bit there. Just going with the line they have. There, it needs a little bend. Just want a nice smooth bend is what I want. Not bad. Now we've got a different shape going on. I can't put the pinch weld. I was going to weld the pinch weld to this square stock. I want this square stock to lay right in this hole and fit exactly behind what I got going on here. I'm going to cut some more off this. Cut some more off. And the reason being is I want to lay it right in there and make it fit in there. So that one there, I can cut. I can cut that much off that. And past where it goes on the pinch weld here, you can see where I cut it off. And I'm going to say I'm going to cut that off there. We'll cut that off. Not quite at the shape I want to be yet, but we'll get there. What I'm trying to do is trying to get this square stock to lay in that hole. I feel like we got a little too much right here in the center. You can see quite a gap going on. It's fitting nice and tight here. It's got more of a gap going there in the center, so we'll give it a little knock down. Not too much, but a little. What's that? Jolene's a wanted woman. Knock her down there a little bit.
This must be...
What's that, sweetheart?
That's not my phone. But
Maybe Tim's phone.
yeah.
Tim's probably trying to find it. Tim, Jolene's stepfather was here this morning. Probably trying to find his phone that he left here. Trying to bang this a little bit more. I got it nice and tight here in the center. I've got it nice and tight down there. Or I think I do. Take a look. Just trying to stay with this here because I'd like to get this done with the time that we have. We're nice and tight here. We're not so tight down there, so we need some more. We need some more. Right along this area. I said, it doesn't take much. Alrighty. We are setting down there fairly decent.
Hello.
Where that's at?
Tim's phone is... It's Jolene. He left his... Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Do a little bit more.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah.
Jolene's filming and taking phone calls. She's the
Cool.
best.
No problem. Bye.
Alrighty, I've got that square stock laying in there. It's fitting all on the back along here nice. You can see that. We're right up with the pinch weld there. Now what I'm thinking is, if I weld my pinch weld on here, all on that flat part, and I turn that to match in there, and we'll have it. So what I'm saying is, I've got this piece of square stock in here. I've got a pretty good match going on, like my face and my arse. going all along there, looks pretty good. Could probably flatten that out just a little bit. And we have to remember it's a rubber, so it'll allow a little bit. We're hard up against that pitch weld all the way along. Hard up, hard up, hard up, hard up. Let's knock it down here just a little tiny bit. Trying to make it the best we can. One more smash. I know it's a hard watch to watch someone pin square stock, but let's face it, we are making a pinch weld from nothing. Alrighty, this square stock is going to have to, we're going to have to cut a piece in here where it's flat there to get it in, the square stock in there. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply the pinch weld to the square stock, because I have that where I want it. I do not know if I have. I've got some 14 gauge right there. 18 gauge, I feel like it's not thick enough. 14 gauge, I feel is just right. I'm going to take it off, not that one, I'm going to take it off this one because it's a little bit longer. So that'll be a nice piece for the rubber go down over. We've got a nice rigid pinch weld there. I'm thinking with 2 pieces of 18 put together. I'm thinking that's perfect. What I want to do now, I'm going to take a look at this for a second. We've got a little bit of a shape to it. Just want to make sure it's fitting in the back of the car. All the way along, which it is.
Could you cut part of that out and use the lip? Do you know what I'm saying? Like how you made the trunk?
Well, the only thing I'm thinking that I wouldn't want to use the lip is because on this it's thick. Like the metal's thicker than the pinch weld itself. Like this pinch weld is not that thick, if you know what I'm trying to say. And what am I saying and for? If I cut some of it out, I got to cut I'm just thinking here for a second. Jolene said cut this piece to make the pinch weld. Would it take off? If I cut it, will it take off? You know what I'm saying? I want it to have something when the window goes in there. This is going across there for strength, and then you got the pinch weld to put the rubber on. Then I got somewhere to weld the metal from here, that piece here, to this. Okay. Right, and that goes across there, and this will give it structure. I'm going to keep going with what I said. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some off of this. I'm going to use, we're just going to do this. I'm going to ruler over here. We'll cut an inch off that. And bear with me, I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I'm building it on the fly, so you can watch me do it. But what I'm thinking is that metal, once I cut that free, it wouldn't work for me, I wouldn't think. I don't think. So I'm just going to keep going with what I thought. And you know how that goes. And I'm going to use this, and then we'll have to cut this after we weld that on there. I'm going to make some noise, so if your wife is anywhere close by and you don't want her piss her off, turn the TV down. another zip cut. Now we're cooking with gas. We'll get her. Gonna have to do a few things to put it in there, but we want strength. I mean, it's gonna hold the back window. So instead of putting a 90 across there and 18, this is what I've come up with. There's more than one way to do it, obviously. There could be another way. You could bend your 90 and shrink it and then put a piece of square stock on it underneath that. But your pinch weld is still not that thick if it's only 18. Good and pliable, that thin. What I mean by pliable is it's good to bend, no issues. Just taking off. Any sharp stuff might cut me. And the reason I cut it bigger than I needed is because I might have to cut it after I apply it to the square stock. So if I apply it to the square stock, no, it's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp that on there. And I could have cut it the exact height. I could have, but I didn't. I'll cut it after. We won't do it on camera because you guys obviously, or probably a lot of people don't want to hear the noise. But if with it being too long, I can always trim it off. And what I mean by trim it off is up here for the pinch weld. I can cut that off after a little bit. I could have probably put it the right distance. I just didn't know if this was straight or not. But it is. Doesn't matter. Yes, it does matter. Just want to see what end is where. If I got the right end is in the right spot. That fits. I'm happy with it. Excuse me, I'm happy with it. So, pinch weld goes on this side. Let's apply it. Come on. Sometimes it's hard to do when put it down, I guess, and apply it. Be easier. Put it down, Chad. Just gonna look at that distance on that thing where she's wheeled out and try to get the same distance. Maybe it'll clamp right up. Maybe not. No reason. We're gonna start tacking that on. gas on. Bring that down just a little bit, so I guess it doesn't matter. Just want to make it neat looking, you know. Just trying to separate it all the same distance. Good. Make a little piece for that. Have our marker. See it somewhat, I guess. Tim, your mother?
Yeah.
What's that?
I think the door's locked.
Door's locked? Just 1 second there, Tim Brown. Entree! I'm going to change ends with that because this end has got a plasma cut end on it. It would have to be sanded. I'm not going there. I'm just going to cut this one instead. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys.
No worries. Ah, that's something. So I'm going to cut this off. Finish that up. Going over the other side, use the grinder, get the sharp stuff off. apply this on the other end of that. Get this clamped on. I guess it doesn't much matter. We'll use a factory edge up top. I guess it does not matter a whole lot. We've got lots of Alrighty, let's cut that off. Jolene looks amazing today, as always. Got some earrings in today. Beautiful. It's hot. Alrighty. I will probably connect it up in the back side of the pinch weld. I'm calling this the pinch weld because that's the piece I'm thinking the rubber is going down over. Now that we got that on there, that's 14 gauge, it's nice and thick. Don't feel like we're going anywheres. Now we just have to make it fit. On the ends, I know right now that the ends are going to have to be adjusted because I know the end goes underneath that. So this end here is going to have to be the same length as that. So I'm just going to take, we'll draw it out. We'll draw it out. That way there. I can cut that out and then we can match the pinch welds up. I'm just going to draw up a little ways and then cut that off. That way there, it'll fit underneath of the roof. The rest of it can be cut off after I apply it. Now I'm saying that pinch weld should be about right. Now I want that to go underneath there, so I'm going to have to cut some of this. Got some 90 going there, and I have to cut that out to get that in there. I'm going to get another zip cut rocking and rolling. So just cutting the roof off is not changing the car. There's a lot more to it when it comes to the back window part. I need that cut out, 3/4 inch probably that cut out. And we're going to there somewhere. Just gonna mark it. Give me a guideline. Might be tricky getting that in there. Once I get it in there, we got her. I'm thinking we do anyways. I just don't want to destroy all the metal there. And the reason being is because I want something to weld that square stock to after I get that in there. Just a little bit more. You know how that is. Just a little bit more, because I have to have that tilt on. Remember, it's got to tilt it, so I'm turning this square stock and tilting it, so we get the exact same shape as that. We got the exact same as this. Now we got to do this, and that will tell me with lining this up. Then it goes all the way around to the other side. We got to cut a little more off. Take it to the other side and get that one ready to rock and roll. Can be tricky sometimes, and like you get that grinder stuck in there, that's when trouble happens. You get it going in there wrong, and going to angle the ends a little bit. Come on now. Get that in place. I'm just going to leave that. I need to die grind that out some there. Get that up underneath there. This piece. Got to get the die grinder going. Got to get in there a little bit better. This is not a quiet tool, that's for sure. All tools on deck. Pinch weld has to line up. That's what's going on. Gotta take some more off. Come to the other side. Might as well do this one. There we go. So that pinch, that's going to weld right on the bottom of that. That weld is going to weld right on the bottom of that. Cooking with gas. Now, what I'm doing is I'm lining the pinch weld up with each other. So you can see I'm lining it up here so it looks like it's, we'll just stick it on there and then we'll talk about it. Let's turn the welder on. I guess we'll put the helmet on. Nope. Nope. So the bottom where I've cut it, this is not the top of the pinch. I have to cut that pinch weld down to match this height here. This is the height that we want. It's probably half inch, probably half inch, probably maybe a little less. Maybe a little less. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack this side on right where I think it needs to be. That'll hold it. I'm just going to hold it until I get over there. Just going to turn it and actually connect it. And I put a little bit of a gap on it for the reason being is I sawed it off. So I know, thank you, Jolene. I know that there was gap on it when I sawed it off because there's going to have to be a saw gap there at least. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that, just want to knock that end off that just a little tiny bit. Good thing the grinder's here. Trying to turn that up a bit, get that line up. And I'm going to go a bit there somewhere. Try and tack at the back here. There. So I just kind of tacked it in the back here. Got quite a little bit of a gap going on there. That's fine. But I'm thinking that we got the same thing going on here as here. Seems like it's up high, does it not? Maybe it has to be turned down some. It can be turned down some. It seems like we're up high though, don't it? I'm going to have to try the back window. That seems like it's up high to me. Way too high. So I've actually done that wrong. When I connected this flat stock, or the 14 gauge to the square stock, this was laying in there flat. So as soon as I turned it up, it made it too high. This has got to come back down flat. This has got to come back down flat. And the angle has to be made on its own. So this is not supposed to be angled like that. Let's cut it for a second. I don't know if I can cut that one off or. What I am saying is it did not work out for me because I angled it up. I made the square sock fit going flat across, so when I flatten it out, it'll be fine, but the pinch weld will be wrong. Get everything in the way here. Take this off. What time is it?
54.
54. Let's get it cut off and turned back. My plan did not work. Now, that's where it's supposed to be, like that. And then this is supposed to be on an angle. So I'm going to have to put that back in. This is going to go flat, like I made it flat, so it fits. And then the drip rail, or the pinch weld molding, or the pinch weld, this pinch weld is going to have to be bent forward. I'm just going to connect that back, just so it stays. No, actually. So I'm going to have to take a pair of channel and bend that forward like that, because this is made to fit like that, and I did this wrong. And that's okay. Or I think it's okay. Sure, it's okay. Nice zip cut. Nope. Yeah, I want my zip cut. No, it's all right. Get it. Someone did a good job tacking that on over there. If you want to hold your hand on that for a second there, sweetheart, I'd muchly take that. Thank you. Cycle. Thank you. All right. Now, what I'm saying is what I got wrong is that was turned down, went flat all the way around. So this has to be turned flat all the way around. So I'm going to take this and turn it down. Weld that in there flat. And then I'm going to bend this pinch weld over like that. It's going to have to do that. I'm going to cut a lot of it off first, and then I can hammer and dolly it over so it works. Just going to take and weld that right there. Grab them channel locks. And I'll have to try the back window in before I go for it. It's not a bad thing. They call that a... I'm just going to connect that a little bit better. Alrighty. I'm right on that hole, right on that hole. That's good. Alright, so come on now. Good. Now we're still in the right shape, but the pinch weld is not leaning the right way. So what's going to happen is I'm going to cut this off to that length there, all the way around, and then I'm going to hammer and dolly that so it lays forward like this. That's what I'm going to have to do. And I'm okay with it, because I'm going to have to be. So I'm really going to have to, gear that up a little bit better in there. So I'm going to have to cut that off, take the back window, and actually try it in there.
To be continued?
What's that?
To be continued?
I really want to work on it. I really want to get it, if you know what I'm saying. I guess we can, to be continued, we can do that just so you can see what I'm doing. But what I did not work, because when I made this square stock, I laid it in there flat. When I put it in here, I turned it up to get this angle. And what happened is it turned the flat stock in the air, which we didn't want that. We did not want that. And I'm kind of wondering, well, no, what I'm thinking is where this is the bottom, right here where I've welded that on here, I'm fine for the window opening this way. It's just that I have not got that pinch weld laying the right way, and I don't think it's going to be a bad thing once I get this weld in. So I'll probably end up welding the square stock in place, and then we'll continue on from there, because I can't really do much unless I weld that in there, but we'll be able to get that welded in there, and then we'll try the back window itself. All right, everybody, there's a big, that was a boo-boo. That was a Honey Boo Boo. If anybody's ever watched that show before, Honey Boo Boo. I made a boo-boo. It does not look exactly flat all the way across, but we'll get it. All right, it's going to be to continued. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope you come back tomorrow and we'll continue on with that back window. We need that back window in place, tight and right. And I've got the window right there, so I'll take it out, put it in, take it out, put it in, and we'll do that tomorrow. All right, everybody, have a great day.